So I think this is the point where I'm meant to say something insightful about that, but I'm following that, so I'm actually feeling quite uncomfortable. So any tips for me, Ollie, that would be great. So you'd be pleased to know we're into the final presentation before you can all go to the bar and get a beer. So I think that's probably a great thing. And what we're going to finish with here is going to give you a flavour of where we're taking Predatar next. But to look forwards, I want to spend a few minutes just looking back. So 3 years ago, we set out with a vision, a bit like Ollie talked around there, to actually transform our platform. We knew the world of cyber, the world of backup was changing. We thought what was happening with cyber criminals. We knew we had some good tech. We already had recovery testing, but it was really designed, as Al said, for that 1 in a 10 million chance of, a DR test once a year. And we knew that, as threats were evolving, people need to be doing testing on a more regular basis to prove their recoverability. So we set out with a vision to change our platform to address that. Now, when we started talking to customers, prospects, partners around this, talking about what we called cyber recovery assurance and this concept of, we call it a clean room, we spent a lot of time having to educate people on what it was, why it was important. Some people agreed, some people disagreed. We don't need that, it's not important. But we kept plugging away anyway. We didn't let that change our course because we believed this was the right vision for us to follow. Now, what's been exciting this year is Gartner have actually recognized through their latest hype curve, hopefully everyone's familiar with the Gartner hype curves, yeah? They've actually recognized what we do as 2 emerging categories in recovery assurance software, and as they call it, isolated recovery environments. We call it a clean room. Same thing. So we're super excited that what we were talking about and going on that journey 3 years ago is now becoming officially recognized within the market. So, quick history for you. So, when we set out on this journey to deliver a clean room and cyber recovery orchestration, we knew we had to evolve our platform. We saw with Barrett before, and we heard from Jeff, that it's like this flywheel effect. Things are getting faster and faster and faster. We needed to be able to adapt our platform and be agile to meet changing demands. So, as well as launching clean rooms with our lovely, what's called at the time, the Sherlock UI, which was a major departure from what we had before, we re-platformed the application. We moved away from that monolithic application building, SQL backends, HTML5 front ends with JavaScript. We moved to OpenShift, containerized the application, started on a journey to move to microservices. The benefit to you as customers is that new infrastructure, that new platform means we can release all the time. We can be really agile in the way we deliver our products. Beforehand, we were doing 1 release every 6 months. Now we can release on a monthly. We could even do it daily if we wanted to, but at the moment we're doing monthly releases. So R11 Grizzly Bear, as it was called, and you'll see a theme with our names here, is huge departure for our business. About 2.5 years ago, that was released March 22. That was followed up in June with R11.1. Here we brought in anomaly detection and something called Signal. So with what we'd launched, we knew that people wanted to be able to take threats from the wider environment, so integration with SIEM platforms, taking behavior data from backup, and then using that to spot changes or anomalies in the behavior of backups and use those things to prioritize it. So 11.1 brought in this anomaly detection, helping people prioritize what to test and when. You can see there's a bit of a jump between the releases here. We hadn't quite got the agile process working on the monthly releases at this point. But with Grizzly Bear 11.2, we brought in this concept of cyber grading. So one of the things that our customers were telling us, we've got all of these things that we back up. We call them nodes. Some people call them objects, virtual machines, servers. Lots and lots of information. We want to make sure we're doing all the right things with each of those nodes. Have we got the 3, 2, 1 in place? What's the backup success rate? So we brought in this concept of cyber grading, where we gave customers the insights that actually, you're really strong over here, you're missing some things over here. And it was very easy to drill in and see where you're an A+, C-, fail grades, and so on. And we also improved the analytics around Signal. So customers at this point were saying, Signal's great, I need more information around how it's finding these things, how it's prioritizing. So we brought in some new UI and some analytics for that to help those customers. Fast forward into this year, and you'll start to see now, by the way, the pace starts to pick up with these releases. Whole bunch of things that were released. The number one feature at this point, because the product at this point supported Storage Protect Plus. Everyone was saying, can we do it for Spectrum Protect for VE? So that was a huge launch at the time, bringing in support for that Storage Protect for virtual environments. We also integrated with IBM QRadar at that point, and the big one on here is Signal 2.0. We'd launched Signal with its anomaly detection. We wanted to make it smarter. So we brought in custom AI that took all of those feeds, all of those signals, and actually did a much better job actually showing you genuine anomalies versus things that were maybe just a slight variance. So that was to basically minimize the amount of false anomalies that people got. By the way, we see you've changed the name, we're on to 12 here, so this was Red Fox. So 12.1, again, building on that, we brought in this concept of cyber indexing. So, as backup professionals, you've got indexes in Storage Protect, Storage Protect Plus. We smashed them together in Predator to give you one index of every file that's backed up across your whole estate. And we also brought in this concept of crowdsourced anomaly detection. Now, for anomaly detection and artificial intelligence to work, you need masses of data. Look at ChatGPT. That works because it's got so much data to learn from. So we started to augment our AI by looking at your own estate, plus anonymize everyone else's data and bring that in. So if we found an attack in customer A, we could package up the behavior of that attack, look for the same behavior patterns in any every customer, and use that to generate more anomalies and possible signs of an attack within their organization. 12.2, a few things happened here. We got our file indexing. We thought, actually, we can use that. We know what every single file is in every single backup. Let's search that index, or let customers look at that index for threats. So we brought in our automated cyber index scanning, where every day Predator will scan that index against a list of known malware and ransomware definitions and highlight any nodes that contain those definitions for further analysis. Move forwards, 12.3. Could have argued this should have gone to 13 maybe, because it was a huge departure for our business. We, as Predator, we've been in the market now for one way or another, nearly 20 years, and in all that time, we'd worked with IBM exclusively. For this release, we brought in support for Cohesity and the new IBM Data Protect platform. So that was a huge departure for us, moving outside of just a little bit. Obviously, Cohesity partnered with IBM, as you all know, but yeah, that for us was a huge departure at that time to bring in that extra workload. And we also brought in, small thing, but it seems to have gone down really well, this concept of themes. So you can change it. If you don't like the Predator orange, you can have IBM blue, Cohesity green. You can set different themes within the product. 12.4, again, following very shortly after that, we brought in another big change. Customers are saying, it's great, this all works with virtual environments, love this. We want to scan other things. We want to be able to scan our Windows and Linux file systems. So we brought in support for file scanning in the summer. And we also brought in support for multiple clean rooms. Large enterprise customers, multiple data centers, probably want these recovery environments in multiple places, not just one in one environment. So with this release, Predator supported multiple clean rooms in multiple configurations. Nearly at the end. August, so back end of the summer, we moved to R13 Komodo Dragon. Again, this was a huge departure for us. We've always been in the space of secondary storage backup. You can see here, we started supporting primary systems. So the ability to take snapshots and safeguarded copies from IBM Flash system and do the same recovery testing into a clean room, same kind of scanning. That also allowed us to provide support for AIX across primary workloads, which was quite a requested feature, the ability to scan AIX. Moving into the release that's due out in the next couple of weeks, so up to present time now, we've got something that internally, we'll come up with a better name, I'm sure, Predator Time Machine. That is basically the ability to scan legacy workloads. So customers that have got virtual environments or legacy machines, we can now take those and scan them with the same technology that we use for more modern environments. Integration with Teams, so if we find something in Predator, something fails to recover, we find malware, we can ping you in Teams to say you need to log into Predator, you've got an issue. And then something I'm very excited about is our Predator Playpen. So what we'll have at the end of this month is the ability for any customer to log in, switch to a demo mode, and they'll be able to demo any new feature in the product using demo data without impacting your live environment. So if we release something you think, I want to try that out, You can flick into demo mode, play with it, flick back to your live environment, and if you like it, think about enabling it in your live environment. So I think that's going to be a good thing. You can obviously try these features before you launch them on your production estates. So that's up to date. So where do we go next? Well, in November, we are moving away from Komodo Dragon, and we're going to be bringing out R14 Eagle. Now, that's going to be released over multiple phases. Now, one of the things I love about product management is talking to customers, talking to partners, listening to what it is you actually want from our platform. Hopefully, you might not be able to read that across the bottom. It's quite small. These were the most common requested features across all the feedback that we get. So AAX backup scanning, Commvault support, dark mode for the GUI, Dell support, mainframe, OpenShift support, so the ability to scan containers, Pure Storage support, Veeam support. These are the top requested features that we've had over the last few months. Anyone any guesses on what's going to be the #1 requested feature? What's that? Oh, nothing. Got anyone? Veeam. Yeah, I'll buy you a pint in the bar. You're quite right. So Veeam was our #1 requested feature. So, most people in this room are maybe, IBM partners or IBM customers, but lots of them use Flash System for primary and possibly Veeam. Obviously, it's one of the biggest out there for the virtual environments. And it goes back to what Alan Thomas said. People have got 4, 5, 6 backup products sometimes across their environment. So the ability to support multiple of those through Predatar, I think, is really important. The one that shocked me, though, is this one here. Second most requested feature, which is just nuts in my opinion, but can't argue with the customer, is a dark mode for the GUI. So I'm thinking that's probably mostly techies asking for that. Techies seem to love a dark mode rather than a light mode. So what I'm going to do now is go and stand over here. I'm going to show you some of the things we're working on for R14. This won't take long, and then you can get to the bar. So bear with me. Brilliant. So first thing you will notice, if I can find my mouse, there it is. Let's log in. Hurrah! Dark mode. So if anyone in the room requested that, now's the time to clap, by the way. So yeah, we've got a new, thank you, Ben. We've got a new dark mode coming out, which we call Dark Night. Again, I think we'll probably think of a better name before it launches. And as part of the Dark Night overhaul, it's optional, by the way. If you prefer it in the lighter tones, you can still have those. We took some time to improve other parts of the UI that just needed a bit more polish to help things stand out. Things such as this little clean room down here, we've made it much clearer what is happening in your clean rooms at any one point within your organization. We also took the time here to tidy up some of the signals. So, as I mentioned, we ingest all this data from the backup platforms. We ingest security threats from SIEM platforms. We run that through AI, and then we bubble to the surface things that need to be looked at. So across the top here, you can see there is a variety of signals being obviously presented to the end user that need to be looked at. With IBM now, there's obviously a number of products that IBM support, so we've packaged all of the signals for IBM technology stack into one. You can see those and what score they've got, what ratings are for those nodes. And the eagle-eyed amongst you, if you can see that on the screen, is Veeam. So we're going to bring feature parity for Veeam that we have with the IBM and Cohesity technology stacks. Everything you can do with those products from a cyber point of view, you'll be able to do with Veeam. So we can see here, obviously we have an alert for Veeam, where we have generated through Signal, this node has got something that's going on. It has a threat level of 6. Now, one piece of feedback we often get from our customers is, it's great, you're telling me it's a 6. Why? I want to know what your AI is doing to tell me it's a 6. We've not been great at that, if I'm honest. It's not been as clear as it could. So we're working on better insights into how the AI is predicting that. So it's basically showing you here, the AI is saying, for this node on this day, we expected the behavior to look like this. Here's what you've actually got. Here's the difference. Here's why we're scoring it as a 6. So it's very, very transparent how we're analyzing this data and how we're ranking that information. If you want to drill into that further, we launched earlier in the year something we call node details, the ability to drill into any node and then see what's going on with that node or that object, if you prefer that phrase. That screen, really, really useful. With R14 Eagle, we're basically simplifying that. We're trying to make it more impactful and put more meaningful information in front of the end user so they can see things very, very quickly. So you can see here, you get all the usual things. This is the grade. This is my recovery confidence, threat levels, and so on. Now, down here, I can say this is my backup success, 100%, brilliant. But let's look at anomalies. So I'll reload that graph. We can see here, suddenly actually I've got an untested anomaly. Predator's found something. It's bubbled this to the top with a threat level of 6. You might want to go and look at that. We can see on the timeline at the bottom here, ticks mean it's been backed up and all's good. Little refreshy recovery sign there means it was recovery tested on that point. It's green, so it's all good. But I think that's yesterday or the day before the 10th. We've got an issue. So what I could do, where's my mouse gone? There it is. I can do point-in-time recoveries, but obviously I want to take this one. I can push that into our clean room. So what Predator there does, as many of you will know, is we're going to orchestrate a Veeam recovery, in this case of a virtual machine, into a Predator clean room. That's going to recover into our clean room. We're going to power that virtual machine on to test it recovers, it powers on. We're going to attach it to the clean room's network to make sure it gets networked, and then we're going to do a malware scan on that. Now, in these clean rooms here, you can see all the previous tests you've done. So you can quickly go through that, and it's showing you manual tests that you've done, scheduled tests that you've done, automated tests that you've done, basically your complete history of what's been tested and when. Push that out to PDF, use that for any means that you like. So that's how we're looking to address the top 2 requested features, which is Veeam and dark mode. But there are other things we're working on as well, which I would like to show you. So one thing that we're really interested in is we've now got recovery testing across multiple platforms, primary and secondary. If you get a cyber attack, you're going to want to bring back not just objects on their own, but complete systems. You're going to want to bring back maybe virtual machines, some databases, things that come together to form a complete solution. It's very rare these days that you get a solution that runs in one virtual machine. It's normally a number of things come together to form those solutions. So that's where we're heading next with Predator, with this new orchestration option. We're working on 2 things, which I'm going to quickly show you. System recovery, we call them digital runbooks or runbook automation, and then some workflows and actions. And these, well, I'll be interested in your feedback over a beer at the end. These we think are going to be quite game-changing for our customers to be able to recover complete systems, not individual nodes or objects. Really, really straightforward. Pick your platform. Let's pick Data Protect. Pick a node. So I want to recover this node, and I want to recover it from my 3rd copy in the cloud. And when I run this, it's going to get recovered to my primary data center. You could stop there and just add more systems. Clearly, environments change all the time. As we saw from Barrett, threats are changing all the time. The stat from Al, 4,000 new threats every day. Things move at an incredible pace. So we've come up with the ability to add rules to this. So we could say, for example, right, if, and you can see all the different options, if the threat level of this node is greater than, I have to stick my tongue out when I'm doing this, I'm sorry, greater than 5, let's push that to the clean room first. So if the node that we're recovering as part of this runbook has got untested threats in it that are 5 or above, put it in the clean room first. Don't just recover it back to a production environment. I want to test it because I'm not confident in the cleanliness of that node. But I could say if threat level is less than or equal to 4. It's probably not a great example, but let's just recover that to the target. So when I run this now, it would then look at that and go, okay, that one needs to go via the clean room. Actually, I'm cool with that one. Just send it back to wherever I'm saying it goes to. And then once I'm happy with that set of rules, I could just add another node. I could go in here and say, right, next node that makes up this system is a Veeam node, or a primary storage node, or a cohesity node, or a storage protect node. Any combination in any order, you can basically build these runbooks. Now let me show you, Blue Peter style, one I made earlier. So I've got a payroll and HR system, which you can see here is made up of some virtual machines. It's got some data protect in there from IBM. It's got some primary snapshots that all come together to form a payroll and HR solution. And you can see at the bottom, if you can read that, it's been run twice before. The average restore time for that entire runbook was 348 minutes. Both times it's been 100% successful. The recovery confidence across that is 98%. And the reason it's not 100% is it's got 3 untested signals are buried in some of those nodes. So some of those signals that we've raised are yet to be tested for nodes that exist within this clean room. And if I just go into edit mode, you kind of see the rules, kind of things that you can set up within that. You can go as complicated as you like. Now, if I run this, a little warning just to say, yep, let's just run that. You can see now it's going to start to run through these workflows for me and decide, does this one go back to production? What do I do? If we go to our clean room, we can see here, well, a couple of things actually. Our Veeam node from before has now moved from recovering to scanning, which is good. And that first node within that workflow, which is the data protect node, is currently recovering. And you can see we've got some other things that it's queued up because it's defined, actually, based on the workflow, they need to go via the clean room, not direct to a live environment or to my recovery target. And that's it, really. If you want to recover a system, we tried to make it, you build the workflow, you press the button, it takes care of it based on whatever's happening in your environment. So let's just quickly go onto the home screen. So you see at the bottom right now, we've now got 2 things active in the clean room. So we can see there's 2 tests. Again, trying to give you better analytics and insight into what's happening within the clean room. Final thing to show you is this workflow automation. So again, goes back to what Barrett was saying. New threats, things changing all the time. Think about a typical backup environment. Things getting backed up, data transferring all over the place. The reason we call signal signal is there is so much noise within your backup and primary storage environments of things moving, things changing. How do you find the genuine threats in that? So that's why we call it separating the signal from the noise. Because things do change so fast, you need systems that can adapt, react, and protect themselves against those threats. And this is what our workflow is designed to do. So there's a workflow we've created here called Secure Cloud Vault. And essentially what we're saying is if we find malware in the backup environment, or the threat level across the whole environment is 9 or above, our dedupes drop below 3 to 1, and our recovery rating across the whole environment is less than D, so it's obviously everything's in a bad place, I want you to run some actions. I want you to close the firewall to the clean room. Let's go and lock our clean room down. Let's raise an alert within Predator. Let's run a command within Storage Protect, and let's run some other workflows within Predator. And if I click on Edit here, we can kind of see the types of things. So you can kind of see the parameters. You know, do you want to do it on malware status? Have I got the right fundamentals in place? What's my dedupe ratio? What's my recovery confidence? What's my threat level recovery? You know, various things that you can pick. If this happens, then these are the actions I want you to run. Let's just scroll down. And then these are the types of actions. So close the clean room, raise a ticket, run a PowerShell script, trigger an API call to the backup environment. Again, lots of flexibility. So you can build workflows that then react to whatever's happening in your environment in real time. You know, you want to turn off retention sets, for example, if something happens. You want to lock out the clean room and keep that secure if something's happening with your backup environment. Again, entirely up to you how you use these workflows. The idea is it's there to help you respond quicker than having to get an alert, figure out what to do, and then execute on that workflow or that run book. By digitizing it and automating it, you can do these things instantly. I think that if I've waffled on enough there, let's see, yes. So a couple of things to note here. First of all, we've only got 1 test active in our clean room. So if we go and look at that, that should be yes. So you can see our Veeam node has now completed a big green tick, which means it's recovered and it's clean. And if we look at our recovery history, there it is at the top. So our Veeam node has recovered, 100% recovery confidence at the moment because we've recovered it seconds ago. We scanned it seconds ago. We know it's clean. We know it recovers. So we can be absolutely confident if we were to recover that again now, it's going to work. And we can even see things like the RTO. So, you know, it's about 3 minutes and 8 seconds to recover that and scan it in this case. The other thing we can notice as well is because we've done that test, a few things have happened. The number of signals has dropped. We've now got 9 untested signals, not 10. And our grading and our recovery confidence, you might have been eagle-eyed before. I think it was a B something or other before, and 80-something%, they've increased because we've obviously got rid of one of those untested signals. So we've proved, in that case, the signal wasn't a threat. It was just a deviation in behavior, probably. We've proved that node is clean. So the point is here, by using Predatar's automation across your backup estates, by constantly testing every day, responding to threats, there's no reason you can't be really confident if you're doing that every day to get that recovery confidence 90, 95, maybe 100%. If you're doing it once a year, as we've talked about today, you probably can't be confident should you get a cyber attack that you're going to get all that data back, and you won't even know how quickly, because again, you're doing those tests once a year. So that's a couple of the things that we're working on. Let me switch back to the slides. Final thing to say, so that's what we're working on. What we need, though, from you guys is feedback, input, ideas. You all use the platform in one way or another. We need your ideas. We can't obviously think of everything. And you guys use this stuff day in and day out. Your input's really valuable. So that QR code there, if you go to that, it takes you to something called Product Board. You'll see what we've released, what we're planning to release, and you can also submit ideas. And I assure you, every idea that gets submitted gets reviewed, it gets analysed, and if enough people like it, it will go into the product. So you guys can drive the roadmap. So if you don't use that, please do have a look at it. Give us your ideas. You can vote on ideas that are already shortlisted. Yeah, the more you can input, the better the platform's going to be. You'll be pleased to know that is the end of that session. So all that leaves me to do is 2 things. There we go. So a couple of admin-y things. We are going to do the World Protect Championships in a moment, but I'm going to let you all go and get a beer in the audience, and obviously if you're at home, maybe not on the East Coast because that's still the morning, you probably don't want a beer, maybe a cup of coffee. Get your coffees and we'll be back in about 10 minutes. But before we do that, I just want to, first of all, thank everyone for attending today. I want to thank my team for putting on a great event. I want to thank our sponsors for obviously helping us put this event on. And I could obviously try and summarise the whole sessions. I won't. I think the thing I want you to think about, though, is, as we've talked around, everyone's investing heavily in cybersecurity. Think about the sessions today. Think about what you can do to try and change that balance. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to buy Predator or use Predator, but there's things you can do with the environments you've got today to be more resilient and ready to respond to attacks. All I'd ask you to do is, if you want help with that, speak to our guys, speak to the guys at IBM. We can point you in the right direction. So I think let's not let you stop you getting a beer. So I just want to say thank you again. I'll see you in the bar in 2 minutes and then back in here for the World Champs. So thank you very much.